welcome to All Things Cryptid. I am your host, Amanda Winter, and today, guess what? We're still in the Appalachian Mountains. Okay, I have some really exciting things to talk about today. I had wanted to do this first one that I'm going to be doing, which, by the way, is the Wampus Cat. Isn't that the greatest word? Wampus Cat. Say it. Go ahead. It's fun. Anyway, I had written this for my last podcast, but the podcast ended up being so long, I decided to just use this one as part of my next one. So guess what? You're getting another one within a week of the last one. How exciting is that? Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about the Wampus Cat. The Wampus Cat is a creature steeped in folklore and shadowed by mystery. So, unlike Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, its origins are deeply interwoven with Cherokee legends, lending it a cultural significance that goes beyond mere monster stories. But what does a Wampus Cat look like? That's the question that has captivated imaginations for generations, and the answer, it turns out, is far from simple. Descriptions vary widely, influenced by cultural interpretations, regional variations, and the ever-shifting nature of oral tradition. Pinning down a definite appearance for the Wampus Cat is akin to, well, capturing smoke. It's a shape-shifting legend. Its form molded by fears and beliefs of those who tell its tale. However, some reoccurring features emerge from the diverse accounts, providing clues to the creature's potential appearance. So, most accounts agree on a fundamental truth. The Wampus Cat is, at its core, feline. But this isn't just any house cat, though. We're talking about something significantly larger, more powerful, and altogether more terrifying. Think mountain lion, panther, or even prehistoric saber-tooth, scaled up to monstrous proportions. The body is often described as sleek and muscular, built for speed and stealth. Crucial attributes for a creature of the night. The feline base is a constant in almost all descriptions, a cornerstone of the Wampus Cat's identity. Here is where the consensus starts to fray, though. Many Wampus Cat sightings report disturbing humanoid features interwoven with the feline physique. This can manifest in several ways: an upright posture, hands instead of paws, or even a vaguely human-like face contorted into a savage grimace. This mixing of human and animal is pretty unsettling, tapping into primal fears about the blurring of boundaries and the corruption of nature. The humanoid features are what truly elevate the Wampus Cat from a mere animal to a terrifying monster. So, the eyes of the Wampus Cat are consistently highlighted as a source of intense dread. They are frequently described as glowing, burning, with an inner fire that seems to penetrate the darkness itself. The color varies, ranging from fiery red to eerie yellow or even chilling blue. The eyes are not merely for seeing, they are windows into the supernatural, a reflection of the creature's savage nature. The gaze of the Wampus Cat is said to be hypnotic, capable of paralyzing its victims with fear. So the Wampus Cat's appearance isn't uniform across all regions or cultural groups. Different interpretations emphasize different aspects of the creature, resulting in a kaleidoscope of monstrous forms. The Cherokee were telling the story of the Wampus Cat when the first European settlers arrived. There are two different variations of the story. One is of protection of the Cherokee land and its people, and let's start with that one. They said that long ago, the village of Etowah lived in fear of the spirit of madness, a demon that terrorized the Cherokee people by driving men mad with just a glance. Desperate to protect their children, the village shamans and war chiefs convened to find a solution. The shamans warned that fighting the demon would doom the tribe, but the war chiefs insisted on action. They agreed to send their strongest warrior, Standing Bear, to face the creature alone, believing he could bring honor to his people by defeating the beast. As he left, his wife, Running Deer, bid him a sorrowful farewell, not knowing if it would be the last time she saw her husband. Weeks passed without a word until one fateful night. Standing Bear stumbled back into camp, screaming and clawing at his eyes, forever changed by the encounter with the demon. Running Deer, heartbroken and filled with fury, vowed to take revenge. Armed with a mask of a bobcat's face, she set out to track the demon herself. After days of searching, she finally found the demon by a stream, and using the mountain cat's magic, she turned the demon's power back upon itself. The demon was defeated, but Running Deer's spirit remained tied to her mission. Legend has it that her spirit now inhabits the Wampus Cat, guarding the lands of the Cherokee and protecting her people. Running Deer arose as the champion to confront this dark force, driven by her desire to protect her people, including her husband, who had fallen under the demon's torment. Her quest transcended mere vengeance. It highlighted the equal standing of Cherokee women as leaders, hunters, and guardians alongside men. Now, the second variation of the story is of transformation and punishment, and it goes like this. They say that the Wampus Cat was once a beautiful Cherokee woman. Her husband would often leave the village with the other men to go out hunting and bring back food. Before each trip, the men would gather in the woods to ask forgiveness for the lives of the animals they were about to take and to seek supernatural help in their task. But women were forbidden from ever seeing these sacred rites. But this woman's curiosity consumed her. She wanted to know the secret magic. She begged and begged her husband to reveal the rites to her, but he always refused. So one night, as the men set out into the forest, she took matters into her own hands. The woman wrapped herself in a cougar skin and quietly crept through the woods. She came upon the clearing in the forest where the men had gathered. She hid behind a rock and watched, enthralled, finally seeing the secrets she had so long desired to see. She crept closer and closer to the men in the circle, wanting to take in every detail until she got too close. The shaman, leading the ritual, spotted her and immediately saw through her disguise. The men of the tribe grabbed her and dragged her into the circle. As punishment for breaking the taboo, the shaman cast a spell on the woman. The cougar skin she had wrapped herself in became her own skin. She became a strange mix of cougar and human, and was cursed to live forever alone in the woods, never again enjoying human company. And so the Wampus Cat roams the Appalachian Mountains at night, traveling up and down the hills, in and out of the valleys, forever wandering, ever alone in the mountains. There are some who say that when she steals animals or ruins things on the farm, she's actually acting out her anger and resentment from being cut off from the rest of mankind. There are some who say that she will roam the mountains forever, lurking around the places where men live, but never able to rejoin them. The Cherokee Wampus Cat is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the importance of respecting tradition and adhering to tribal laws. Regardless, while both stories are rooted in Cherokee mythology, this tale has taken on the life of its own in the surrounding Appalachian communities. Families use the Wampus Cat for generations to keep their children from wandering too far into the woods after dark. "You'd better get back in before the Wampus Cats get you," parents would call out as dusk fell. The Wampus Cat became a warning to those who venture too far into the unknown. The legend acted as a psychological boundary to protect people from the dangers lurking in the mountain. The Wampus Cat isn't just a tale to keep kids in line. Over time, it became a part of the Appalachian culture, woven into the fabric of the region's folklore. Early references from the American Dialect Society described the Wampus Cat as a creature heard whining about camps at night, a spiritual green-eyed cat having occult powers, or an unidentified imaginary animal. Writing in 1951, folklorist Vance Randolph described the Wampus Cat as a kind of amphibious panther which leaps into the water and swims like a colossal mink. The Wampus Cat was mentioned in a newspaper account in the 1930s in the Piedmont region of North Carolina, where the creature was accused of killing livestock. Some say it's nothing more than a story passed down through generations. While others are unsure, some claim to have seen it, or at least something like it, a flash of glowing eyes in the dark, the sound of rustling leaves when there's no wind, and a feeling deep in your gut that you're not alone. In some parts of the Appalachia, the Wampus Cat has taken on a life of its own, becoming part of local mascots and town lore. Whether used as a playful scare or a more serious warning, the legend has staying power. But not everyone believes in the Wampus Cat, of course. Many argue it's nothing more than a misidentified cougar or a bobcat, animals that are native to the Appalachian region and known for their eerie, high-pitched screams. Cryptozoologists who study creatures like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster suggest that the Wampus Cat could be a yet unidentified species. Others believe it's just a figment of the human imagination born out of the fear of the dark and the unknown. Okay, so what do you think? Is the Wampus Cat real? Is it really out there and just hasn't been identified yet? Or is it just stories that parents told their kids from Cherokee lore to keep them out of the woods? So the next cryptid that I would like to talk about is another fun word, the Snallygaster. Say that one. So today we've done the Wampus Cat and the Snallygaster. So for centuries, a large winged beast known as the Snallygaster is said to have terrified the people of Frederick County, Maryland. The dragon-like beast is described as half reptile and half bird, living deep in South Mountains caves. The mysterious creature is said to swoop silently from the sky, stealing farm animals and children from unsuspecting farm folk. Some say it's real. The area was settled by German immigrants beginning in the 1730s, who called the creature a Snallygaster, meaning quick spirit in German. I'm probably mispronounced that, but it's okay. We're going to keep going. The earliest folklore mixes the half-bird features with the nightmarish features of demons and ghouls. Other descriptions describe the beast as a half-reptile, half-bird with metallic-like beak with razor-sharp teeth. Sometimes it's described as having octopus-like tentacles. The earliest stories claim that this monster sucked blood out of its victims. So let's imagine a creature stretching a whopping 9 feet from tail to beak, sporting a wingspan of an impressive 15 feet, with metallic teeth and a steely beak. So that just adds layers to the Snallygaster's grotesque presence. For years, the Snallygaster lived only on the pages of folklore, until 1909, when stories of the beast began to appear in newspapers. Encounters between local residents and the winged creature in February and March of 1909 described it as having enormous wings and a long pointed bill, claws like steel hooks, and an eye in the center of its forehead. Further, it is said to make screeches like, and these are all in quotes because they were from the paper, like a locomotive whistle. A February 1909 article claimed that a man had been seized by the winged creature, which proceeded to sink its teeth into his jugular and drain the body of blood before dropping it along a hillside. The story was carried prominently in Middletown's, Maryland's Valley Register, and soon spread far and wide, so much so that the Smithsonian Institute offered a reward for the hide. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt reportedly considered postponing an international trip to hunt the beast personally. In the early issues, the flying beast seemed to be everywhere at once. In New Jersey, it was reported that its footprints were first discovered in the snow. In West Virginia, it was said that the flying beast almost caught a woman near Scrabble, was found roosting in a farmer's barn, and laid an egg the size of a barrel near Sharpsburg. A man in Casstown, Ohio, wrote a letter to the Valley Register telling of a strange creature that flew over his area making terrible screeching noises. He described it as having 2 enormous wings, a large horny head, and a tail 20 feet long. It was first sighted in Maryland by a man who operated a brick-burning kiln near Cumberland. Spied near the kiln sleeping, it emitted a blood-curdling scream when it awoke and angrily flew away. It was also sighted near Hagerstown, south of Middleton, at Lover's Leap, and seen flying over the mountains between Gaplin and Burkittsville, where it reported to have laid another very large egg. The last sighting in Frederick County occurred in March 1909, where 3 men fought the creature outside a railroad station for nearly an hour and a half before chasing it into the woods of Carroll County. There are no more sightings of the mysterious creature for the next 23 years, at which time it once again appeared in Frederick County, Maryland. The first reports said that the bird, in quotations, was seen just below South Mountain in Washington County. The life expectancy of a Snallygaster was expected to be about 20 years. The new sightings were from the offspring of the 1909 creature. At this time, the Middleton Valley Register requested that local residents who spied the creature should provide as accurate and detailed a description as possible for scientific purposes. 2 residents soon reported having seen it just east of Braddock Heights, flying about 25 feet overhead, confirming the description published the previous week. The next thing I heard of the Snallygaster was that it had died in Washington County when the moonshine fumes still overcame it and fell from the sky into the 2,500-gallon vat of alcohol. According to the story, revenue agents soon arrived and destroyed both the beast's vat and carcass. Folklore and cryptids fascinate me, especially how it mirrors the social and historical currents of the time. To understand the Snallygaster, we need to take a trip back in time to the 1730s, when German immigrants first settled in the Frederick County area. These newcomers brought with them not just their hopes of a new life, but also the rich folklore of their homeland. In the dense forest and rolling hills of Maryland, their old-world tales of spirits and monsters found fertile ground to take root and grow into something uniquely American. The early stories of the Snallygaster were used as cautionary tales to keep children in line. Don't wander too far from home, parents might have warned, or the Snallygaster might get you. Remember, they did this with the Wampus Cat. It's another classic example of how folklore often serves as a practical purpose in society beyond mere entertainment. However, as time went on, the legend of the Snallygaster took a more gloomier tone. In the post-Civil War era, it became intertwined with the racial tensions of the time. On February 12, 1909, the very first sighting of the Snallygaster was reported in the Valley Register under the headline, "The Colored People Are in Great Danger." The story included an eyewitness account of the creature killing an African-American man named Bill Jefferson by sucking the blood from his neck like a vampire. This aspect of the legend serves as a stark reminder of how myths and monsters can sometimes be used to embody and perpetuate societal fears and prejudices. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Snallygaster legend is how it intersects with real-world events and cultural shifts. Take, for example, the creature's alleged demise in 1932. The story goes that the Snallygaster met its end by drowning in a vat of moonshine. On the surface, it might seem like a fittingly bizarre end for a bizarre creature. But dig a little deeper and you'll find that this tale is rich with historical context. The early 1930s marked the end of the Prohibition in the United States. During the Prohibition era, moonshine production was rampant, especially in rural areas like Frederick County, Maryland. By having the Snallygaster die in a vat of illegal alcohol, the legend was tapping into the very real concerns and activities of the time. It's a perfect example of how folklore often reflects and comments on the society that produces it. But the story doesn't end there. According to the legend, before anyone could examine the Snallygaster's remains, revenue agents, the law enforcement officers tasked with enforcing prohibition, showed up and destroyed both the moonshine still and the creature's body. This twist in the tale serves multiple purposes. It explains away the lack of physical evidence for the Snallygaster's existence, while also commenting on the heavy-handed tactics often employed by law enforcement during Prohibition. So, the tales of the Snallygaster have become an unexpected boon for Maryland's tourism. Tour operators have jumped on its cryptid legendary status, offering ghost tours and folklore expeditions to entice visitors. Locations like the Appalachian Mountains and South Mountain State Park serve as perfect backdrops for these adventures. As guides narrate chilling stories of the feared beast, participants can hike through the rumored territory and experience the thrill firsthand. The annual Snallygaster Festival in Washington, D.C. celebrates this quirky legend with craft beverages and live music. It's a festival dedicated to honoring the strange while embracing the local identity. And I went straight to their website, and their very next one is coming up. And it reads, "And on October 11th, 2025, the Merry Monster makes its triumphant return to D.C. for its 13th year as a rollicking tribute to the wonderful world of craft beer. Festival goers can expect a mind-boggling selection of no fewer than 450 highly sought-after draft beers, gravity kegs, and bottle plus can pours from 175 plus of the finest American and international producers set against the backdrop of local food trucks and 2 stages of live music." So, I thought that would be fun. I won't be able to make it, but it just sounds like a really good time. So if you go, please write me and let me know how it was. So again, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I can't do this without you. Please like, share, and donate if you would like to. I am still taking stories, your own personal stories, whether they're paranormal or cryptid you may have seen. You can email me at allthingscryptid13@gmail.com. Eventually, again, I would like to do an episode of everyone's stories. And if you have anything that you want to share with me about this awesome festival that I wish I could go to, please email me. Thank you as always, and keep searching for the unknown.